Hello, 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 everybody. I'm going to get started just because we're running a little late, and I know some of you have classes at 6 p.m., so we want to get you out of here. Just so you know you're in the right place, this is the cultural context presentation. For those of you, this might be your first time in the United States of America. Some of you, it's your first time in Salt Lake City. Maybe some of you have been here for a little while, but this is to help you get acclimated to classroom culture and so on. And we also have a wonderful panel. My name is Miles Thacker. I'm the program manager for international student support at the David Eccles School. I mostly work with undergrad, but I will also work with all of you graduate students as well on some events. A little bit about me. Before I was an academic advisor here, MSIS, MSBA programs. So I know a lot of you are in those programs. Before that, I worked in Columbia, working with Fulbright as an academic counselor, supporting Colombian students apply to U.S. universities and acclimate to U.S. culture, as well as support U.S. scholars come to Columbia and acclimate to Colombian culture. So today we're going to have an intro from ISSS. We have Alex Curtis here. Then we're going to talk about U.S. university classrooms and what to expect in the classroom. I'm going to briefly talk about my experience with culture shock, and then we're going to get straight to our student panel. So I am going to welcome Alex Curtis to the stage.
All right. Hello, everybody. Hopefully you guys all attended international orientation last week. So most of you probably have seen my face or at least know who I am. But to start, my name is Alex Curtis. I've been with the University of Utah since May of last year, so a little over a year now. But I've worked in international education for about 8 years. I started off teaching English to international students. I taught English at many different levels, from middle school all the way up to adult education. So that was a lot of fun. And then I got involved with international student scholar services and really liked the compliance piece, which people think that's crazy, but I liked the regulation and all that stuff. And so that's kind of how I ended up in this role. But today I want to talk to you guys about what we do and what our office is here for. Primarily, we're here to help you navigate all those complex F1 regulations and requirements. But we also want to help you get connected on campus and get involved with the campus culture and experience what Salt Lake City, Utah, and the United States has to offer. So what we do international orientation, which how many of you guys were at orientation last week? Okay, awesome. Good, good, good. If you were not at orientation, we're going to be contacting you. We help advise on cultural adjustment. So we want to help you get comfortable in the United States, help you through culture shock, help you understand the university system and how it operates. And then, like I said, make sure you're in compliance with your F1 status. We also do social programming as well. So we have different events that I'll talk about. And then we help maintain your CBIS records. So just to give you an idea of like who is international at the University of Utah, our office is serving all those who have come into the United States on an F1 visa, who are here on F1 status. But we also help serve J1 students and scholars. So we have several different scholars from all over the globe that are here that we help with compliance and maintaining their records. And then we also have an English Language Institute as well that we help serve. So to give you an idea of the kind of community that you're joining here at the University of Utah, and then just to give you a disclaimer, these are last fall's numbers, so fall 2023. So last fall, we had 3,362 international students, and almost 1,000 of those were doing OPT after they graduated. And then we have 111 different countries represented on our campus, which is really exciting. And these are our top 5 countries. So you can see China, India, South Korea, Iran, and Vietnam are where primarily majority of our students are from. So like I said, what we really, really want you guys to understand is our office is here to help you. We're not here to punish you or get you in trouble for making a mistake on your visa status. We're here to help you navigate those complex regulations. And if you ever have questions, we want to be there to help you and assist you with those issues. If for some reason something happens, you make a mistake and you fall out of status, we're also here to help you with that. Don't be ashamed to come into our office and say, hey, I made a mistake. We're here to help you navigate that mistake as well, okay? We're not gonna call the government and punish you and send you home, okay? So this is going to be a very highlighted version of what we talked about last week during international orientation, but I wanted to just reiterate the most important pieces again, so you make sure you understand. So the first one is your passport. We want to make sure that your passport is always valid. You have to have a valid passport to be in the United States. And make sure if you ever depart the US and you're coming back in, that your passport has at least 6 months into the future. Because if it does not, they can deny you entry into the United States. Make sure your Form I-20 is always up to date and it's valid. Whenever we issue you a new I-20, make sure that everything on that is accurate and correct. Because if it's not, we need to make a change to it and fix it. Make sure you guys are always enrolled full time. Make sure you guys are maintaining normal academic progress. If you are consistently failing your courses, that could cause issues with needing an I-20 extension down the road, or it could lead to like a suspension if you're consistently failing and not maintaining a good GPA. Make sure you guys report any changes, whether that be academic or personal changes, to our office within 10 days of that change. The 2 I would focus on the most is please let us know if your address changes and your phone number changes. We very rarely need to call you. Most of the time we're going to contact you via email, but if there is an urgent situation and we need to get a hold of you, we have found that a lot of students don't update their phone number with us. And so it makes it very difficult to find you and contact you, okay? It's also important to have that information up to date because if the government needs to find you, they need to know how to contact you, okay? Make sure you do not work off campus. All off-campus authorization is not allowed until we give you the green light, the thumbs up approval to be able to work off campus. All of you guys are eligible to work on campus, and then after you've been enrolled for 2 semesters, then you can look into off-campus authorization. And then lastly, make sure you guys obtain a travel signature. If you ever are going to depart the United States and need to return, you'll need a travel signature on your I-20. However, that travel signature is valid for 1 year. So if you got a travel signature in December to go home for winter break, you don't need another one until the next December, okay? So keep that in mind too. So if you're gonna go home for winter break and you get a travel signature, and then you're gonna go home during the summer, you don't need another travel signature because it's still valid. So in summary, the most important thing is just follow the rules, follow the laws, right? Follow all the immigration laws associated with your F1 status. Make sure you're always following US, state, local laws. And then make sure you guys are always following university policy and regulation. Because if you violate any one of those 3, it can jeopardize your status here in the United States. So please always reach out to us if you ever have questions. Don't ask your friends about immigration advice. Your friends do not know, okay? You and your friend may be in a very similar situation, but your situation might be just slightly different. So please don't ask your friend for advice. If an academic advisor tells you something, make sure you come and verify that with our office so we can make sure that you're good, everything's good to go. And then please make sure to submit your requests on time. Some of these requests are time sensitive. For example, like a travel signature. you need a travel signature to get back into the United States. So don't wait until the day before you're going to travel to submit your travel signature, okay? Our office tries to process stuff as quick as possible, but it typically takes us 7 to 10 business days to process requests. So keep that in mind as you're like traveling or needing CPT authorization, OPT, anything that's a time-sensitive request. Be thinking about, okay, I need to make sure I get this submitted to ISSS on time. So we have walk-in advising hours that's available for students. We do Tuesdays and Thursdays where you can physically walk in without an appointment and meet with a international advisor. Our office is split into 2 locations. So the first one is Building 124. It's a small white house next to President's Circle. And then Thursdays from 1 to 4 in Union 410. And just to give you guys a little bit of a hint, a little secret, if you will, Tuesdays walk-in advising tends to be a lot slower than Thursdays walk-in advising. So I would recommend you come on Tuesdays, but also we do virtual drop-in advising. So if you're not able to physically come to campus, you can join us via Zoom every Wednesday from 2 to 4. And you can log into your UAtlas account and see that information and how to log in and meet with an advisor. Okay, programming. So like I said, we're not just compliance. We're not just, hey, follow the rules, do what we tell you to do. We want you to get involved on campus and enjoy what Salt Lake and the University of Utah has to offer. So one of our biggest programming events that we do is International Education Week. That's typically in November each year. And we do several events with the Office of Global Engagement throughout the week. So we really encourage you guys to get involved with that. And then at the end of the week, we finish it off with a huge international night where we have different performances from students and groups on campus. It's a lot of fun. There's free food. We invite clubs to come and promote their clubs. We also have an ambassador program as well. So if you guys are interested in being an international ambassador next year, we encourage you guys to reach out and apply. The ambassadors help us plan events, run orientation, and connect with you guys and to help you out on campus. And then we also do our Global Beverages Hour, which is a lot of fun. We do that once a month where we feature a drink and a snack typically from a country. And then we also do several different excursions as well. So last year we did ice skating, snow tubing. We took the international students to a haunted house. I think they took them to a jazz game as well. So definitely watch for those events that we'll have going on. We also have an International Student Association. Feel free to scan the QR code and that'll give you more information about how to sign up. This is just a club that's open to anybody if you want to get involved with international students. They're starting like a mentorship program as well to help you just navigate college as an international student. So I'd encourage you guys all to check that out as well. And then if you guys are interested in performing at International Night, if you have a talent you'd like to share, you can scan this QR code as well to express interest in performing at International Night. And then these are the events we have upcoming this semester. So feel free to take a picture of this. We're going river rafting in a couple of weeks. Those signups will be coming out here soon. So if you guys follow us on our social media and make sure you're checking your emails, you'll get information about when these events are happening. Oh, and here's our social media. So you guys can scan this QR code and follow us on Instagram. That's where you'll see like all the events that's going on. But also make sure you guys are checking your email as well, because we'll send it there too. And then I also want to introduce you guys to Katie. Hopefully you guys had a chance to meet her at orientation last week. But Katie Dussault is our case manager in our office. And her position is designed to help you guys navigate everything outside of immigration compliance. So if you guys are going through some mental health struggles, housing concerns, food insecurity, financial concerns, you can come in and meet with Katie. She's in building 124. And she can help connect you to campus resources or help you connect with other external resources to get the help that you need. Okay, so that's a brief, quick overview of our office. Does anyone have any questions about anything I can help answer right now? All right, sounds good. Well, thank you guys so much. And I will turn it back over to Miles.
Classroom culture, because I don't know about all the different classroom cultures from your home countries, but I can tell you about mine because I went from preschool all the way up to my master's. So university structure, it's very learner-centered. You expect to participate a lot, and you even get points in your grade, a participation score, and you're going to learn about that in your syllabus. It's more casual. You can show up, in jeans and a shirt, and you want to be ready to present your own opinion. It's not just listening to the professor and putting some answers on paper. It's about really critically thinking. The structure of classrooms. So I lived in Columbia for about 4 years, and the universities there, it was 2 exams. That's it. You just take 2 exams. You take a midterm and a final, and you study and you memorize some things and you put it down on a piece of paper. Well, here the professors get to create their own classroom environment, and there are a lot of different components to the classroom. So you have lectures, group discussions, reading, projects, in-class assignments, and you better believe it, you'll be graded on every one of those. So this week is really important for you. You need to make sure you take a look at those syllabi and really map out when you're going to have time to go visit the mountains, or when you're really going to have to hunker down and pull all-nighters to make sure you finish all of your projects on time. And also pay very close attention to the grading rubric, because the professors might put a ton more weight on the group project than they will the exams. So just be aware of that. Take a look at your syllabi. US culture. Well, we love our freedom, right? We also love that in the classroom. So academic freedom is a part of US culture. So being able to choose your own classes. I know some of you have restrictions based off of what your family wants you to study, but you still have some options as far as electives go. And I urge you all to explore things that really interest you as well. Also, it's really important to explain your thought process rather than reciting what somebody else said. So again, individuality, learner-centered. Academic integrity is taken really seriously here. So just be aware of that. So some things that might get flagged for teachers are when you're communicating with another person during a test, submitting the same answers on homework, submitting answers without citing a source, using ChatGPT. ChatGPT is awesome, and you should use it when you can. And a lot of professors will let you use it in the classroom, but just pay attention to the syllabi and make sure you're not breaking any rules, because if you do, it can be pretty bad. They take it really seriously here. So they can reduce your grade, a whole letter grade, if you cheated on a homework assignment. I saw one of my students, they're an international student. It's a 1-credit class. It's the easiest class. It's a careers capstone. On the careers capstone, on an assignment, which was a half-page long, talking about their experience, they copied from somebody else. They failed that assignment. That assignment was worth 25% of their grade. They failed that assignment and had to take another semester. So even if it's as small as just copying a paragraph, it can still have pretty serious consequences. So just watch out, just watch your back. And it's about learning the content, not about getting good grades, especially in the business school. You're not going to get an interview about your grades. You're going to get an interview about the knowledge that you have. Okay, culture shock. It is a real thing. I know you talked about this in your orientation with International Student Services, so I'm going to be really brief with this. You have your honeymoon period, your culture shock, adjustment, and adaptation. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I went through. So I lived in Colombia for about 4 years. And the first 6 months, I definitely went through these stages, and you might too. So I moved into Colombia. I got the nicest apartment, really cool roommates. I had a lot of fun learning Spanish. And then it got a little bit harder as I got into the routine. I experienced some culture shock when I got sick. So I was working with, as an elementary school teacher, so really young kids. And if you know about young kids, they're disgusting. So I got really sick, and my go-to is chicken noodle soup and orange juice. Okay, so I go to the grocery store, and normally a can of Campbell's in the US costs like 70 cents. Here it costs $15. And then a bottle of orange juice. I go home, the can of soup is pretty not great, and the orange juice is full of sugar, and I end up throwing it out. This was a really tough time. I was all by myself. I didn't know how anything worked in the Colombian culture. Eventually, I adapted and learned that you can get fresh chicken soup and fresh squeezed orange juice delivered to your door for a fraction of the price, even better than living in the US. All I'm saying is that sometimes it takes a little while to adapt to your new culture.
All right, guys, we're going to get started. My name is Laura Wallace. I work for You Career Success. So I will give a little plug for that. All of you students have a career coach. So there's someone on campus to help you with your job search, figure out how to develop as a professional, as a leader, as a manager, whatever that looks like. I work with the MSBA students, and so I'm also part of the group that helps plan some of these events along with the leadership of Miles. And so tonight we have 5 international students from all over the world to answer some kind of key questions about how they made this transition, how they have adapted through culture shock, and have become very successful here at the University of Utah. So all 5 of these students have taken time out of their schedule, so I will ask that you quiet conversations at your table and spend the next 40 minutes or so paying attention to this discussion. They all have internships or jobs or classes or homework, so we want to give them some attention now that they're giving us their time tonight. So, guys, my first question for you, can you just go around and tell me your name, what program you're in, and where you're from? Stephanie, we'll start with you.
Hi everyone, my name is Stephanie. I'm originally from Peru, and I'm pursuing a Master of Science in Business Analytics, and actually I'm my 3rd semester.
Awesome.
Okay, sorry. Hi, my name is Kiyomi. I am originally from Australia, and I did my undergraduate degree here, and I'm now in my Masters of Accounting, and I will be done in December with that. So,
hello, everyone. My name is Debbie Adibumi. I graduated from the Masters in Healthcare Administration program this May, and I'm currently working for the Masters in Finance program right here at the Business School.
Hello, everyone. My name is Raja Abugami. I'm from Saudi Arabia. I did my undergrad here in Information Systems, minoring in Management, and I'm currently doing my Master's in Information Systems.
Hi everyone, I'm Anusha Vivekanand. I'm a master's in business analytics student, and I'm originally from India. I'm graduating in December this year.
Awesome, thank you. So my first question, and I would like for you all to answer it unless you feel like it's already been answered. What advice would you give to an incoming international student to make the most of their experience here at the University of Utah? Stephanie, we'll start with you.
Okay, I will separate this advice in two parts. For example, on the academic side, I will recommend you to ask questions. For example, if you don't understand a specific topic or a specific assignment, don't hesitate to reach out to your peers, to professors, teaching assistants. They have a specific, they are there to help. So don't be left wondering and ask questions. Another thing is like, for example, in the information system department, organizes different competitions. That's a great opportunity for you to participate, get to know you better, work in teams, and develop your soft and hard skills. On the other side, not everything's about studying. So I recommend you a lot to make friends, network with your peers, professors, and professionals, because University of Utah also hosts various career fairs during the year. So I recommend you to attend those career fairs, network with people, and that will help you a lot in the future. And also enjoy the nature here. You know, you have mountains, you have lots of outdoor activities here you can enjoy, and you can have this work, study, life balance.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me, going along with making sure you ask questions and clarify is there are a lot of clubs on campus. The business school in and of itself has a lot of opportunities to meet other students and to be able to connect with those people. If you're in accounting, there's Beta Alpha Psi. If you're in finance, there's a finance club. And then even within the school, like any sport, I think there's a bowling club. Anyway, there's a lot of different clubs that you can join. So that's a really good way to meet people that are like-minded and have the same interests as you. And one of the biggest things I did was I didn't know how to ski when I moved here. And that's pretty important to a lot of Utahns. So they have like a ski class that you can take that's a lot cheaper than buying a pass. So just look into, there are a lot of opportunities that the school gives you to integrate yourself better.
I'm gonna say two things. The first thing is be open-minded. You've come to a new environment, everything's gonna be strange, everything is strange, but be open-minded and just understand that this is a different place and just be open-minded and enjoy everything. The second thing I'm gonna say is, as much as possible, get involved in different activities on campus. This campus, the University of Utah campus, is a massive campus. Get involved in activities, go out there, network, enjoy your time. As international student, you're paying a lot of money, so just take advantage of what the campus has to offer, network, and enjoy, basically.
I would agree with what have been said before. Getting involved is very important. I think one also main difference is within classes. Disagree with your professors. That's totally fine. And get involved with your professors. If you're interested in a class, if you want to be a TA in that class, that's an opportunity that you can take advantage of. There's a guidebook that I would send Miles, is a campus guidebook, which shows all the activities that are going every month on campus. And there's different clubs on campus, so whatever you're interested in. When I moved here, I didn't know how to ski. I still don't know how to ski, but but I think it's a great opportunity to learn and experience. It's one of the best skiing areas in the world. So take advantage of that, and get involved, get into different clubs on campus, get outside and, disagree with your professors. I think that's an important, an important point. So.
I would say participate in a lot of interdisciplinary hackathons. This is one diverse cohort at the University of Utah that probably you might not find in other universities. Secondly, whatever we have been used to with respect to curriculum or course structure back at our home countries is quite different from here. So talk to a lot of TAs. They've been in your shoes 1 or 2 semesters before, so they'll definitely help you with understanding what is required and what is needed to excel in your academics.
Awesome, thank you. So my next question is, have you experienced homesickness And if so, what tips do you have for this group of managing that homesickness? Anyone can answer. We don't have to do everyone for this one.
You will be homesick. Let me just tell you that you're gonna be homesick. You're gonna miss home. You're gonna miss your friends. You're gonna miss your family. That's gonna happen. That's part of this journey. Sometimes you're gonna lock yourself up in your room and you're gonna cry. And crying is okay. But just make sure that when you're feeling homesick, use those avenues. Call your family, do a video call. One thing that helped me personally is I play PlayStation, I play video games. So I just connect with my family and we just do it, we play video games, we have conversations, WhatsApp videos. Just understand that that's gonna happen. You're gonna miss home, but just get someone if you have like an Indian community or an African community, try and connect with those communities. If it's food that works for you, get those food. But, just call your family and just have a conversation and let them know that you're just homesick. And honestly, you'll get over it after a while.
Awesome. Anyone else?
Okay. I would agree. I think there is moments where it's going to be really hard, but I think at the end of it, it's worth it. If you're thinking about your end goal, I think you become a stronger person at the end. And it's also important to stay connected with your family. Call them, call your friends. They will help you adapt to that period. It's just a small period. Other thing that I forgot in the last question was office hours. Use office hours. I think they're really important. But back to it, I think it's also, like I said, it's a challenging journey that you postponed upon. So, and I think at the end, it's going to be worth it.
Thank you so much. So for a lot of the students in this room, for the University of Utah, but international students as well, finding a job or finding an internship is really an important piece of their journey. So can a few of you share what that has looked like for you and any tips you have for this incoming cohort?
I can start. For a job on campus, because you're international, we are international, you can only work on campus during the semester. And so asking your professors if they need TAs, asking your program managers if they have heard of anything or if they have a position for you. I think the biggest thing is just asking around and making it known that you're available. Or even like stopping by the front desk, or there's a lot of places on campus that are hiring and are willing to give international students jobs. To do with recruitment and internships and getting a job for after school. The biggest thing is to make sure you're going to all the events. The business school holds a lot of recruiting events for all majors and all jobs within the business school. I was able and lucky enough to be able to have interviews and job offers from really big companies from the recruiting process here. So make sure you're going to those events and you're meeting the people and you're being authentic and you have a good resume, which you have counselors for, but that you're using all the resources and you'll be just fine.
Thank you. Anyone else? Anusha?
Everything here starts 1 year in advance. If you want to apply for summer internship, this is the exact time that you should be getting your resume ready and start applying, because by December, around 70% get completely filled. So if you want to have an internship in summer, this is where you have to actually start and talk to everyone in career fairs, irrespective of they sponsor or not, because summer internships are about having an experience here in the US, and just go for it, talk, get to know what they work in, what kind of projects they are. If you feel aligned later, maybe you can connect later, but at least have the head start.
Thank you. Yeah.
Sorry, just one more little thing. If you do plan to do an internship off of campus or work out of school, OPT and CPT is a thing, and you will hopefully learn about it in international orientation, yeah, through the ISSS office, that is a really long process and it can sometimes get pretty complicated. So make sure that like as soon as you know what you want to do, that you're going and you're meeting with that office often to make sure you're in regards for that and status.
Awesome. Anyone else on jobs, careers, and internships? Okay, I have a question that wasn't on the list. I'm gonna do that. So what about networking? How have you found networking in the United States? Is it important to build your network professionally? Can you speak to that?
I was actually going to add that to the previous question. For me, I leverage on networking to get my current job post-graduation. And one of the things I've actually figured out in the state of Utah is networking. When you go for those conferences, make sure you network, make sure you connect with them on LinkedIn. Another thing is if you have a guest professor that comes into your class or a guest speaker that comes into your class, after that class, connect with that person, follow them on LinkedIn, send them a one-liner to basically say, it was great meeting you in class today. What that does is they will remember you. And when you just send them an email sometime that I'm job searching, I want to come and do an internship, they will remember you. So networking for me personally worked and networking actually works. So make sure you leverage on that 1,000%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that also networking opens different opportunities. So if you apply on campus jobs or, different people on campus or different events, then you're available to them so they can refer you to other openings if there's something available. So I think that's an important part of it.
At this very point, you might not find the right job with the people you're connecting, but remember that eventually when something opens up, you would want them to remember you for that position. So you better talk to them right now. Try to see what the job market is like, what kind of expectations that will help you prepare for it better rather than having your own routine in preparation. Talking to someone would help you at this point.
Thank you. Yeah, Stephanie.
Well, when I came here to the University of Utah, I learned how to network. I didn't know. So Laura helped me a lot how to do that. And now I love networking. It's really important for your future opportunities in your career. And also you can get to know information that maybe it's like valuable for you. I had an experience. So I networked with a person in a company, a big company, and he told me that sometimes there are hiring process that are published, but sometimes there's not. There's just for people who know this person. So it's better if you network so you can get to know some valuable information that will help you a lot in your career.
Thank you. So my next question, more on a personal side, how have you found friends? What's the best way that you would give this group advice? I think coming here as any student can be isolating, but particularly as an international student where you may not be coming in with friends already. So how have you managed to establish friendships in your time at the university?
I think the most important thing that I found different about American culture is that you have to be more, what do I say? More spoken. Yes, thank you. Be more spoken. Go out. Don't be afraid. I think that's an important part that you be more bold. And then reach out to people. Don't be afraid. If you're in classes, just go out, reach out for study buddies. Or if you are in, any of the activities that are popular in Utah, such as climbing, for example, you can go, even if you don't know, just go and pretend that you know, and then talk to people. So that's one way you can do it. But I think the most important thing is that you get out of your comfort zone. I think that's really important. Sometimes we get too involved in our comfort zones that we forget that, it's a human connection at the end of the day, and they're humans too. So be outspoken, and don't be afraid to get out of your comfort zone. It's okay.
Yeah, I think the like friends that I've made is through classes, because like friends that suffer together stay together. So if you are struggling in classes and need to work together to band, that's a really great way to create a connection, because there's a shared pain or excitement there, whatever you have in that. And then yeah, just kind of echoing, like make sure you're reaching out. There are so many different ways to meet people. You've just got to be outgoing. And if you're in a public space, like a lounge or anything, and you see someone come in, just saying hi and starting a conversation it's a little daunting sometimes, but it can make all the difference.
So here at University of Utah, you can find so many clubs and associations. For example, Women in Business, Finance Club, or the Indian Student Association, or the Latino Association. So there are so many clubs and associations you can join, and you can find people who have same interests as you. So this is like a good point to start a conversation. So that's my recommendation. Join clubs and meet people.
Thank you. So this is also not on the list of questions, but I'm curious, what about American culture or norms was surprising to you that you think is important for other people to know about? So this could be how we dress or how you engage, how you make friends, anything that comes to mind that you're like, wow, that was surprising. I didn't know.
There's a lot, to be honest. But I think one thing is how straightforward Americans are and how they communicate. When I first moved here, coming from Saudi Arabia is very different. So it was a little bit rude how I saw it personally from my culture. But then I came to realize it's the norm and how people communicate through different ways. So I think that's one thing that was shocking. Time, you have to be punctual. For me, from 3 to 4 is 3. So you have to be on time. I think that's an important aspect to it. And yeah, I think also reaching out, being bold enough to go and reach out is an important thing, whether it's networking, friends, or opportunities. The opportunities out there, you just need to go on and grab them.
I struggled with the different ways some words are pronounced to other things. So I lived in the United Kingdom, and we call chips fries. So over here it's called fries. I know it to be chips. One of the delicacies in the United Kingdom is fish and chips. So when I got here and I had to approach someone, say they didn't get that. So what they call chips here is what we call crisps on the other side. They call it elevator over here. We say lifts in some countries. I don't know. They say route, we say routes, and that would confuse you a great deal. But just understand that you're probably saying the same thing, and you probably might just have to pull up your phone and show them exactly what you're saying. And oh, okay, that's what you're saying. So that was confusing, for me. But I think the second thing that was a bit confusing was about just the boldness that you can basically say, your professor says something, and when you disagree, you can disagree and it's not going to take offense to that. In some countries where we're coming from, you won't even dare to disagree with your professor. And the professor is actually okay with it because everyone's view counts. So yeah, for me.
Yeah.
Back in India, you can just cross the road wherever you want. Here, you can't do that. And your insurance will not cover that. Don't do it.
Facts.
Debbie, to your point, I saw a meme the other day that said, what a challenge as an English as a second language learner to know that a butt dial is different than a booty call. They're different things.
Just to add one more thing to basically what you said, one of the things that you will learn living in the United States, when an American basically says, oh, let us meet up for lunch, or I'll call you. It's happened to me a million times. So I'm on the phone like, he's gonna call me for lunch, he's gonna call me for lunch, let's meet up. Don't put your mind to it too much. And they're not trying to be mean or anything. I think it's just a saying, just like saying when you meet someone and say, okay, I'll see you later, goodbye. Doesn't necessarily mean like they might never see you. So one thing I found out Americans used to say goodbye is, oh, let's meet up for lunch. Let's meet up for a drink. Don't wait up for it. It might never happen.
Good. Anyone else on cultural expectations? So similar, how has university classes been different? So anything that surprised you about taking a class here in the University of Utah in the United States that was kind of shocking compared to your class experience where you came from?
I was very used to memory-based learning. Here, everything is context-based learning. I do not have to remember a verbatim of 1 page long essay. All they want is things that I can write on my own. So that is appreciated and valued a lot. So understand the concept rather than remembering the verbatims. That will help you with your exams.
For me, when I was studying in college and undergrad in the United Kingdom, one of the things that they tell you first day of class is, while the professor basically says to you, while I'm talking, you can just interrupt. So I came here with that mentality. So I noticed that when I got here and started classes, I felt it was probably going to be the same way. So professor keeps talking, I'll just literally just butt in, or he asks a question, I'll just blur out the answer. And at the end of a class one time, professor called me and basically said, Debbie, when I ask a question, you have to raise your hand and I'll call you and you can answer the question. And I didn't know that because I noticed like every time he asks a question, I just say the answer. Everyone in class used to look at me like really weird. So, oh. But apparently the thing is when they ask you a question, you raise up your hand. So that was a massive shock for me.
I think I would agree too. Back home is more test based, but here's more discussion and group projects. One of the things that were very daunting when I first moved here was sitting in a class of 60 people and having your name in front of you and being called upon or have to participate in the class. But I got used to it. I think it's a great skill to improvise and just answer questions, raising your hands, of course, doing it. So I think that's where very different. Exams, most classes are 20% of the grade. So the heft of the grade is on group projects, and you have to work with groups. So not a lot of people are in agreement with the same group. So I think that was very different.
Awesome. Thank you. So my next question, for those of you that English was not your first language, have you had any struggles with learning English or getting to the level of English that you desire? And what tools were helpful to you in improving your English skills?
Well, in the classes, there are some academic terminologies, concepts that are kind of difficult for me to understand, or maybe there are some slangs in the daily conversations that I don't understand. But what I do is like ask, what do you mean when you're saying this? Or maybe I just search that word on the internet. But with this with daily these conversations with people, so if you have this more conversation with people, you can maybe understand this word by the context of the conversation. So while you have more interactions, you will like understanding more. So that's something that helped me a lot.
Yeah. Anyone else?
I think don't be afraid to ask questions. I've been in conversations where I'm in agreement. I have no idea about the concept, but I'm just saying yes, yes. And I get involved in a project or something. So I think it's important to ask. Don't be afraid. Don't be worried. Just ask. Hey, I don't understand what you're saying. Can you please explain? Or if there is a cultural aspect to it, don't worry to ask. Like I've asked a million questions. I think one thing that I got stuck on was like pronouns. That was not familiar for me, although I spoke the language. So I had into very funny situations in regards to that. So asking questions is very important, and don't be embarrassed to ask questions.
Awesome. So what is your favorite part of Salt Lake City or Utah? What's something that you want all of these students to know about that's been a fun experience for you or a fun place for you that you've loved participating or going to, a park, a hike, those sorts of things?
For me, it's been the people. People over here, I don't think they do them enough justice online. If any of you went online to read about the state of Utah, you would not want to come here. And I did the same thing. I read about the state of Utah. I'm like, am I sure? But coming here, the people are genuinely nice. Sometimes it might be so nice it will scare the hell out of you. Like, what do you want? But I can tell you, I've been here for 2.5 years now. People are genuinely nice. You know, they will reach out to you. And once they pick that you're like an international student or you didn't grow up here, they're willing to go all the way for you. So for me, my experience, I don't ski, I don't hike, I don't do all of those. But the people, they've been a blessing to me. So leveraging that, if they come across as being really nice, don't freak out. They're genuinely and they're really authentic with their niceness. So leveraging that.
Thank you, Debbie.
I remember my mom came to visit and she's telling me, why is everybody smiling? And I'm like, I don't know, they're nice, mom. I think, yeah, I think, you know, there's a lot of outdoorsy places that you can visit, hiking. I think like truly encourage you to go skiing. Again, I don't know how to ski. I fell too many times skiing, but I think it's worth it. It's just an experience and it's so close. It's like 40 minutes from here. So I think that's a worthwhile experience.
Forget everything. Go to grocery stores on Saturday. Everything is closed on Sundays. And I'm from a very busy city in India. So not a lot of nightlife. People keep going out. You know, people are out. Here, 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. at max, 7:30, everything gets closed. So that is something that I learned here, that the city just forces you to reset. And that's one good thing that I've learned to appreciate peace.
Yeah, I would agree. I think back home, coffee shops would close at like 2 or 1 a.m., but here everything closes at like 8. So
Awesome. Anyone else?
Well, I wasn't an outdoorsy person back in Peru, but here I love nature. I love go hiking, paddleboarding, camping. I love visiting the what's the name? Yellowstone National Park that is close by, and Arches National Park. So go there, visit and go camping, paddleboarding, whatever activity you can do in outdoors. It's really good. You can feel the nature and also have this balance in your life. That is something that healthy.
Find someone from Utah or someone that's lived here a while and just ask them to take you on their favorite hike. I promise you, everyone has a favorite hike, and you can tell them like, give me an easy hike or give me a hard hike. Make sure you specify because they will take you on a hard hike. Otherwise, and yeah, people are more than willing to show you their backyard because it's gorgeous. So.
Thank you. Okay, I'm done with my questions. Does anyone from the group, the crowd, have a question? Any burning curiosities about life in the United States, cultural adjustment? All right, guys, any final comments, things you feel like you didn't talk about?
I used to work in the international office and I was also the president for the International Student Association. As international students, you guys pay health insurance. You guys pay for that. And from my findings, and from when I used to run the podcast for international students, I found out like about 60% of you do not access your health insurance for obvious reasons, because even people that lived here all their lives still don't have a clue what the health insurance is all about. I just wanted to just bring that up for you. You can get your flu shots because most of you have never lived in a cold country or cold state. Your flu shot is covered by insurance. And there's some, checks that you can basically do. Just make sure that you're paying for this insurance. Go access it. Don't just stay at home. I'm just going to drink hot water and lemon and I'll be good. There's some things that your insurance covers it 100%. So speak to the student health center and go get, because we've seen students that they will fall ill, international students fall ill, and they just stay indoors because number one, they don't understand the health insurance and they basically just don't want to bother themselves with it. But you're paying for this. So go know about it. And if you're not feeling well, when you get to the student health center, when they say do this, your first question should be, does my insurance cover this? And once they say yes, just go ahead and do it. So flu shots, mammograms, pap smear, I can only speak because I'm a woman, those things, you're covered. Sorry, guys, I know you're like, oh my God, but just because you're praying for it.
That's a very good point. I've met a lot of international students in my time that have like sprained an ankle and are walking around on it, not going to access healthcare because as someone born in the United States, it's very confusing my own healthcare. So as someone who's not from here, it's doubly as confusing, but do know you do have health insurance, but you do want to ask that question before you get any service, is this covered? Because that way, you have peace of mind about what you're getting, what you might end up paying for. And these are all questions that you might not encounter now. It might be after this honeymoon phase when you get your first sickness and you're not sure what to do, and then still come to those of us that work here to help you as well.
I think also communicate if you're having a hard time. It's okay to speak out to friends, family, even the international office or professors. There's always really good resources that a lot of people do not utilize on campus, whether it's health resources, academic resources. There's a lot of stuff that you're paying for on campus that you should be doing. And I think this is a cultural / educational experience. So make sure to make the most out of it. Get out of your comfort zone. It's just it's a short journey. I've been here I'm doing my master's is like 5 years. It's like yesterday I moved to the US. So it goes by fast. So make sure to make the most out of it. Don't be embarrassed. You're gonna be in really, tough situations. That's fine. It's part of the experience. Make sure that you connect with people, communicate with, professors or, health or the ISSS, all the experiences that you go through. I think that's very important. And yeah, good luck.
Anisha? Oh, question. Yes, let's do a really quick lightning round. Each person tell us what kind of transportation do you use?
Well, I use the train, the red line that leaves you like close to this building. And also I use the bus, the number 9 bus. That is the green one. So, and they work all the time, the same schedule.
Yeah.
And you can download the transit app and you can see the different stations and everything.
And the public transport comes free with your UID. Like that's not something you need to pay for. I drive and I don't pay for a pass, but I have a pass through my work. So I just walk across campus. But a parking pass in the winter is nice just because it kind of gets a little hectic. But public transport works across winter. They're used to the snow. Doesn't really affect them anymore.
I take the bus, I take the shuttle. It brings you, if you leave around student apartment, there's a campus shuttle that brings you straight to school. You don't have to pay for that as well. You don't even have to show your school ID. Then the UTA buses also, they're around, they work summer, winter, spring, they're always available. But also, if you don't know, if you're on campus until 6 o'clock, or people that take classes from 6 to 9, from 6 o'clock, there is it's called the Safe You Drive. So you can download the app as well. If you're on campus from 6 o'clock or you take classes until 9, that service is available to you. You just go on, you book it, and they come and pick you up from where you're on campus and take you to, I think they take you to like if you're in student housing or something, but it's for your safety as well. So yeah, and if you drive and you feel like getting a pass works better for you, I will basically say explore all your options and get the one that works best for you.
Yeah, I would say the same. I used to walk or I use a car and I get the pass. And after 3 p.m., you can use the garage. So that's a cool option to use.
I do notice one thing. I used to live by the student apartments on Sunnyside. On Sundays, the frequency of bus number 4 or 9 to the campus is really low. So it's 1 hour once. So plan your Sunday trips accordingly.
And I had one more idea. Some of these folks are not used to winter the way Utah has winter. So any preparation tools or even calming, I think sometimes people think it's worse than it is. So how bad is it and how do you prepare?
It's bad.
I was trying to make it not so bad.
No, it is. You get used to it. When I moved from, I don't know, 45 Celsius to, it's pretty cold, to be honest, for me. But you get used to it. Use thermals. And then there's hand warmers if you're not used to the colds. Wear hats. That's really important. Or beanie. That's very important. But it's not as bad as it is. So.
Okay.
The one thing that I would say is I'm from a hot and humid climate. Air up here is super dry. So you might have heard about like nosebleeds and things like that. I wish someone told me this before. Use a humidifier. It helps a lot.
I think the biggest thing is just make sure you get a good jacket. And if you have questions about that, there's so many of us that have to bought a jacket. Buy a really good jacket that'll keep you warm through the winter. And then it gets really slippery because the ice, it ices up pretty quick. So a good jacket and a good pair of shoes or boots. Nothing with platforms because you'll just biff it. You'll just fall over. So any kind of treaded boots and a jacket. That's what I would say.
All right. Any other questions from the group? I have one more I keep thinking of. You guys can leave anytime, but housing. Any quick advice for these folks? They probably already have housing right now, but all of you have probably gone through multiple apartments or dorms or housing transitions. You think you have housing and then your roommates kick you out, whatever. So what are your advice around housing?
I think now it's more expensive in terms if you're off campus. There's a lot of apartments that are not online, so you have to go and search for them and find their number. But in general, off campus is a little bit more expensive, so consider a room first, and then if you like the gist of that, then you can move to an apartment. But on campus housing, I didn't go through on campus housing, but I heard it's pretty good.
Anyone else?
I currently stay on the graduate student apartment. It's pretty good. I know the new buildings currently are actually quite a bit on the high side, but they've compared it to the market outside and it seems reasonable. So have a look at it. Maybe something you can actually afford, go for it. The beauty about that is it's closer to campus. And I know some people that stay in those apartments that they can stay on campus in the library till like 11 o'clock and they can get the Safety U card to bring them from the campus to the student apartments. I think you just have to figure out what works best for you, but I stay in the student apartments for the graduate students and it's been great.
Awesome. All right. Thank you all. Can we give a round of applause for these guys staying here? Thank you guys so much.